I was scared. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I wasn't terrified.
They know that they are not going to be prosecuted or punished in any meaningful way for their crimes.
A carjacking, a robbery, possible gunfire, all at the hands of juveniles just in the last week in Baltimore City. This morning, political commentator Armstrong Williams is joining us live to weigh in on the new demands now for accountability from some residents. Armstrong, good morning.
Good morning, Megan.
You know, let's start with just what happened on Tuesday. Police say 3 juveniles carjacked a woman at gunpoint. It led to a police chase before crashing. Then within 24 hours, Armstrong, those suspects, all with previous arrests for stolen vehicles, mind you, were back on the streets under the supervision of GPS monitoring. The question I have for you, will that make a difference? Is that stopping these young kids from committing more crimes?
Oh, no, unfortunately, it's not. And as much as Giraldi tries to give people assurances that it's going to get better, Megan, it seems as though this happens every day. And at some point, the governor, Wes Moore, who is his boss and who appointed him to this position, has to make a decision, because there's just been such an outcry from all sides that this just has to stop. The question is, if Giraldi is forced to resign, will this change? Will the juvenile justice bill, which becomes law on Friday, November 1st, will it change much? You know, I have an opportunity to sit down with the Baltimore State Attorney, Ivan Bates, tonight for an hour to talk about many of these issues, because people are afraid. They don't want this to become them, and something has to change. And it's an indictment right now of Governor Moore's leadership. Will he make a change, or will he force Giraldi to finally do his job?
You know, the biggest change, Armstrong, that young these suspects are. We're talking about a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old that were arrested on Wednesday for an armed robbery of another juvenile. And that 12-year-old Armstrong had been arrested for robbery 5 other times, already under GPS monitoring. How concerning is it, not just of the policies that we have, but the ages of these kids committing these violent crimes?
Megan, we've seen them as young as 9-year-olds. And here's the issue, Megan. 90% of these crimes and these violations are committed by 5 or 6% of the same repeat offenders. At some point, I can understand Giraldi saying, well, listen, 80% of them we can rehabilitate, but these 5 and 6%, we got to lock them away. I don't care how young they are. They keep escalating their crimes. It gets worse, more violent, more vicious. At some point, he's got to stop looking at these as innocent babies that can be saved and say, not only are we going to treat you like an adult, we're going to lock you up and put away the key to protect everyday citizens.
What do you think the problem is, Armstrong? How did we get to this point where we have 9-year-olds committing violent crimes?
Because they believe, they're emboldened, as the clip just showed, to believe there will be no accountability and responsibility for their crimes. They are also being used as useful tools to commit these crimes. There's so much more that we don't see. There's a reason why Giraldi is no longer in New York City, why has been moved from place to place, and now he's in Maryland, and the same policies continue. Why? Why does he believe that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get different results? Something has to change. That may be Giraldi, but it's not enough to move Giraldi. You've got to get this under control so people can at least live without fear and in some kind of peace and security in their communities.